students, in this lecture we would be talking about the structure of the DNA molecule. We would be looking at the Chargaff rule that governs the structure of the DNA molecule. We would be talking about not only the structure of double-stranded but also the structure of triple-stranded, quadruplex DNA and the artificial DNA synthesized in the laboratory, which is also referred to as xenonucleic acid DNA molecule, that is called as XNA. तो शुरुआत करते हैं हम लोग पहले रूल से, that is referred to as the Chargaff rule. What do you mean by Chargaff rule? Chargaff gave an important rule in order to understand about the structural stability of the DNA molecule. DNA की stability को समझाने के लिए एक बहुत ही important rule Chargaff ने दिया. He was able to predict about the stability of the DNA molecule via the analysis of base composition of DNA. He analyzed the base composition of DNA generally varies from one species to the other. DNA isolated from different tissues of the same species have the same base composition. The base composition refers to composition of A, T, G, and C. It refers to composition of adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine residue. It was the base composition. The base composition of DNA in a given species does not change with its age, nutritional state, and the environmental variations. So there would be no change in the base composition in the percentage of adenine, guanine, cytosine, or thymine during the change with the age, nutrition, environmental variations, whatever would be coming during the lifespan of an organism. एक organism की lifespan के दौरान उसकी एज में, न्यूट्रिशन में, इन्वायरमेंट के अंदर आए हुए कोई भी चेंजेस उसके बेस कंपोजिशन को वेरी नहीं कर सकते. The simplest form of the Chargaff rule can be stated by this particular statement, which clearly states that the molarity of adenine is equal to the molarity of thymine, and the molarity of guanine is equal to that of cytosine. That could be simplified as amount of adenine is equivalent to amount of thymine and amount of guanine is equivalent to the amount of cytosine. Amount of guanine is equivalent to the amount of cytosine. The Chargaff rule can also be written as the sum total of mole fraction of adenine, guanine, cytosine plus thymine. That is, sum total of their mole fraction is equivalent to 1. Sum total of their mole fraction is equivalent to 1. That means if you are going to calculate adenine, guanine, cytosine, or thymine in a particular mole fraction, then their total or their sum will be equivalent to 1. So this is the Chargaff rule. These are the two rules of the Chargaff, which can be used to solve a numerous number of practice MCQs that will be provided to you in your group, where you can solve all these MCQs based on the Chargaff rule, and then the subsequent discussions will be made. So one very important characteristic feature that you must remember, that in the case of bacterial cells, there are two different types of DNA which are present. One is referred to as the chromosomal DNA. Bacteria के केस में अलग-अलग तरीके के DNA होते हैं. One is referred to as the chromosomal DNA. Another one is referred to as the plasmid DNA. Okay. Usually plasmids are absent in the case of eukaryotes, but certain eukaryotes also have plasmid, such as the Saccharomyces cerevisiae has a 2-micron plasmid present within itself. So eukaryotes can also have plasmid. Okay. Now, the key important point is that during conjugation, transformation and transduction, during conjugation, transformation and transduction, there is the exchange of genetic material. And when this exchange of genetic material is going to take place, then what is going to happen? If the exchange of genetic material is going to take place, then the Chargaff rule will not be applicable in the case of bacterial cells exhibiting horizontal gene transfer via any of these processes, because these processes will disrupt the Chargaff rule in those types of bacteria which are showing horizontal gene transfer. जो भी बैक्टीरिया हॉरिजॉन्टल जीन ट्रांसफर को शो करेंगे इन सारे प्रोसेसेस से उनके अंदर चारगाफ रूल एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. Any doubt, you can always raise a question. Okay, so there would be exceptions to Chargaff. Exceptions to Chargaff. Chargaff rule is also not applicable in the case of single-stranded DNA. It also fails in the case of RNA as well as single or double-stranded RNA. Okay, so this is applicable only in the case of double-stranded DNA molecule, which do not participate in the process of conjugation, transformation, or transduction. Okay. So moving forward from the Chargaff rule. Now you can see the application of Chargaff rule in the case of molarity of bases of different types of molecules. Okay, you can find that there is a change in the molarity of bases within the different species, whether it is E. coli, Mycobacterium, yeast, cow, pig, or humans. But they will have a particular purine and pyrimidine ratio that will be specific to that particular species. For example, E. coli can have thousands of strains, but the ratio of purine and pyrimidine will always remain equivalent to 1.04. Okay, so this would be the ratio of purine as compared to pyrimidine. That means purine, it is purine rich as compared to pyrimidine rich. Next, historically X-ray diffraction picture. Now, what does this picture indicate? The picture shown here to you all indicate that how X-ray diffraction experiment led to the discovery of the DNA molecule. यहाँ पर आप देखते हैं historic X-ray diffraction experiment. Now, what was being done in the case of X-ray diffraction experiment? X-rays were being provided to the double-stranded DNA molecule. Okay, this is the double-stranded DNA molecule. It was being crystallized, and then X-rays were being imparted over this double-stranded DNA molecule with the help of two techniques which were referred to as XRD and XRF. X-ray diffraction and X-ray fluorescence. X-ray diffraction and X-ray fluorescence. What do you mean by these two techniques? In one technique, the X-rays moves and are diffracted in different directions after contacting the surface of the DNA and then are recollected. In another technique, the X-ray which are being deflected are made to strike a screen with zinc sulfide, and here a fluorescence is being produced when X-ray strikes. यहाँ पर एक fluorescence produce होता है जब X-ray strike करती है, and as the X-ray strike, so there is a fluorescence that is being produced, and through this historic X-ray diffraction picture, which was being developed by Rosalind Franklin. Rosalind Franklin through the analysis of this X-ray diffraction picture, the structure of the dsDNA was being postulated by Watson and Crick. So it was through this particular image analysis only the structure of the dsDNA was being provided. यहाँ पर इसके बाद में ही structure double stranded DNA का दिया गया. So through the X-ray diffraction experiment, Watson and Francis Crick proposed a double helical model of the DNA structure. So there was the double helical model of the DNA structure being proposed out of this particular model. Next, the two strands are set to coil together around the same axis to form a right-handed double helical structure. The two strands are set to be wrapped around each other in the form of a right helical structure. This is how the two strands were being wrapped with regard to each other. Okay, let me make a good diagram. Sorry. So these were the two different strands, and these two strands were being set to being wrapped with regard to each other in anti-parallel direction. One was 5' to 3' from top to bottom. Another one was 5' to 3' from bottom to top. Okay. The two strand runs in opposite direction, and that is what we are trying to say here. The two strands always runs in opposite direction. That is, they are said to be anti-parallel with regard to each other. There are exactly 10.4 number of base pair per helix of the DNA, and the diameter of the helix is equal to 2 nanometer, which is equivalent to 20 angstrom. एक हेलिक्स का डायमीटर कितना होता है? 20 एंगस्ट्रॉम. हेलिक्स के अंदर नंबर ऑफ बेस पेयर पर हेलिक्स कितने होते हैं? There are 10.4 number of base pair which are present per helix of the DNA molecule. Next, when you talk about the right-handed DNA molecule, then this is the structure of the right-handed DNA molecule. In the structure of the right-handed DNA molecule, what you can find is that you can find here that the two strands of the DNA are being wrapped in the clockwise direction. So the orientation of the two strands is clockwise. दोनों strand एक दूसरे से clockwise direction में move कर रहे हैं. That is why the double-stranded DNA has a right-handed conformation. The double-stranded DNA can also have a left-handed conformation. जरूरी नहीं है कि right-handed ही हो, left-handed भी हो सकता है. Left-handed पाया जाता है Z-DNA के अंदर. In the case of Z-DNA, the orientation will not be clockwise; it would be anti-clockwise. The hydrophobic backbone is on the outside of the duplex, while the basis lies in the inner position of the helix. So this is the hydrophobic backbone which is present. It is present towards hydrophilic backbone. Hydrophilic backbone, why it is hydrophilic? Because there are phosphate groups which are present here. So here there are phosphate groups which are, one phosphate is present here, another phosphate group is present here, and these phosphate groups are present towards outside. When these phosphate groups are present towards outside, then these phosphate molecules have the ability to interact with aquatic environments such as water. इसके अंदर ये एबिलिटी होती है कि ये aquatic environment water के साथ में interact कर सके. And so the interaction can be made possible with the water molecules because these phosphate groups are hydrophilic in nature. Okay, these groups are hydrophilic. Just a second. These are hydrophilic molecules. So it stabilizes the structure of DNA. The internal region of the DNA is hydrophobic. This is hydrophilic, and this internal region is hydrophobic. Hydrophobic. This is the region which is present. This is the region that is commonly referred to as hydrophobic in nature. and this region is hydrophobic. It won't be interacting with any water molecule. ये हाइड्रोफोबिक है, किसी भी वाटर मॉलिक्यूल के साथ में इंटरेक्ट नहीं करेगा, कैसे भी इंटरेक्शन नहीं होगा. Next, because of the hydrophobic nature, here you will find the hydrogen bonding will be formed, and here the intramolecular hydrogen bonding is going to take place in between the nitrogenous bases, whereas intermolecular hydrogen bonding formation occurs in between the water molecules and the phosphate backbone which is present. Okay, sugar phosphate backbone makes intermolecular hydrogen bonding with the water molecules. So you can find the water molecules here, and here the bonding that would be produced, it would be intermolecular hydrogen, intermolecular. Just a second. This would be the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Both the intermolecular as well as the intramolecular hydrogen bonding stabilizes the structure of DNA. Intramolecular hydrogen bonding is going to stabilize the structure of the DNA molecule. What you find here is that, but these constitute only 15% of the stability of DNA. They will make only 15% of DNA stability. DNA की स्टेबिलिटी का 15% ही केवल कौन बनाएगा? It would be made by the hydrogen bonding. Approximately 75% of the DNA stability is being made by hydrophobic base stacking interaction. It is always the hydrophobic base stacking interaction that makes 75% of the DNA stability. Now we must talk about this hydrophobic base stacking interaction. Before moving to hydrophobic base stacking interaction, look at certain parameters present over this DNA. The DNA has a width of 2 nanometer, which is equivalent to 20 angstrom. The DNA possesses a minor groove, whereas another groove that is present is major groove. This minor groove is the site where we can focus for the binding of drugs and ETBR molecule. So small molecules like drugs, dyes, and ETBR can bind to minor groove, whereas larger molecules such as protein motifs can interact with the major groove. Larger molecule protein motifs जो हैं वो interact कर सकते हैं major groove के साथ में. Okay, so normally you will find that there are proteins which will act as transcription factors. Proteins acting as transcription factors. Transcription factor of a gene. Transcription factor of a particular gene will bind to the major groove, whereas other molecules such as ETBR etc. will bind to the minor groove of the DNA molecule. ETBR minor groove पे bind करेगा और बाकी सारे मॉलिक्यूल्स मेजर ग्रुप पे बाइंड करेंगे. हम स्पेसिफिकली ड्रग्स को डिजाइन ही ऐसा करते हैं कि वो माइनर ग्रुप पे जाके बाइंड करें, बिकॉज वी नो दैट द माइनर ग्रुप ऑफ द डीएनए इज कंप्लीटली फ्री. इट इज फ्री. As it is completely free, so it is the area where the proteins are going to bind. Okay, where the drugs can be made to bind, because it is free, so it is the area where drugs can be made to bind, whereas the proteins have the ability to bind to the major grooves, transcription factor proteins. Okay, so moving. So now let us understand about the hydrophobic base stacking interaction. So what is an hydrophobic base stacking interaction? In the case of hydrophobic base stacking interaction, you can find that there are nitrogenous bases which are present, and these nitrogenous bases are present one beneath the other. Now this is the strand of the DNA. This is a single strand of the DNA. There will be complementary nitrogenous bases present here, and the nitrogenous bases are aromatic compounds in nature. Okay, as these are aromatic compounds in nature, so what they have is they have a delocalized pi electronic cloud present over themselves. When there is a delocalized pi electronic cloud present over themselves, then this pi electronic cloud assumes a delta positive charge over the surface and a delta negative charge below it. Below the surface, there would be a delta negative charge. Again, a delta positive charge will develop over the surface, and below the surface, there would be a delta negative charge. Okay, so there would be a delta negative charge. So because of the interaction of these charges with regard to each other, the DNA assumes a greater stability, and such stability is commonly referred to as hydrophobic base stacking interaction, because one strand of the DNA has certain nitrogenous bases, and these nitrogenous bases has the ability to stack over one another. So such type of interaction is commonly referred to as hydrophobic base stacking interaction. इस प्रकार के इंटरेक्शन को जिसमें एक नाइट्रोजनस बेस जो एक स्ट्रैंड के ऊपर है वो अपने ही एडजेसेंट नाइट्रोजनस बेस के पाई इलेक्ट्रॉनिक क्लाउड से इंटरैक्ट करता है in order to form charged interaction is referred to as hydrophobic interactions. The charged interactions of the pi electronic cloud in between the two adjacent nitrogenous bases is referred to as hydrophobic base stacking interaction, which accounts for 75% of the DNA stability. There is another phenomena that you must know. The other phenomena that you must know is about base pair flipping. Base pair flipping. Now, what do you mean by base pair flipping? In the phenomena which is referred to as base pair flipping, this mechanism is being used by the DNA polymerase as a proofreading activity. Every DNA polymerase has a proofreading activity with the maximum proofreading activity present in DNA polymerase 1, which has both 5' to 3' as well as 3' to 5' exonuclease activity. It is commonly referred to as the Kornberg DNA polymerase. This DNA polymerase, when recognizes or try to proofread two nitrogenous bases, this DNA polymerase will come something like this. It will surround the two nitrogenous bases, and each nitrogenous bases will be made to swing from the inner surface towards the outer side. It would be made to swing from the inner surface towards the outer side. This phenomena is commonly referred to as base pair flipping. This is how the flipping of the base pair is going to take place. Each nitrogenous base has been made to move from the inner surface towards the outer surface and then checked with regard to each other. This phenomena is commonly called as the base pair flipping, again making the DNA molecule. And this is how the base pairs are being flipped one after the other. This is the flipping of the nitrogenous bases from the internal surface toward the outer surface, from the internal towards the outer surface. This is base pair flipping. इस प्रकार से बेस पेयर की फ्लिपिंग होती है और ये बेस पेयर अंदर से बाहर की तरफ फ्लिप हो जाते हैं. Any doubt? And then again flips back to their normal position after the checking has been done whether these are the correct nucleotide. For example, if this is A and this is T, then it would be flipped back. But supposingly this is A and this is G, then the wrong nucleotide will be removed and then again flipped back after the correction has been made. This is how proofreading activity is being achieved. Okay. Now moving to the next slide. So here now we would be talking about the two strands of the DNA and their stabilization mediated with the help of hydrogen bonding. I've already told it to you that the guanine is bounded to cytosine through 3 hydrogen bonds and adenine is bound to thymine through 2 hydrogen bonds. So they constitute 10 to 15% of the DNA stability. DNA की 10 से 15% स्टेबिलिटी उसके हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग की वजह से ही होती है. जैसे ग्वानिन साइटोसिन और एडेनिन थाइमिन के साथ में बाइंड कर रहा है. The paired bases are nearly planar or perpendicular to each other. Okay, so the paired bases are always perpendicular to each other. The two adjacent bases have base stacking interaction, and these base stacking interaction contributes to approximately 75% of DNA stability. They will contribute approximately 75% of DNA stability. करीब 75% DNA की स्टेबिलिटी इसकी वजह से होती है. It is because of these DNA molecules. Okay. Okay, so that's all about the stability of the DNA molecule. Now we would be moving towards the different form of the DNA. That what are the different forms of the DNA molecule? Now, polymorphism of the DNA structure. When you talk about the polymorphism of the DNA structure, then polymorphic form of the DNA structure means that the DNA can assume several different types of conformation. A DNA structure can be single-stranded. Now, different types of DNA structure could be there. Single-stranded DNA could be present, and this DNA is present in the genome of certain viruses, such as 5X174, which has a single-stranded DNA. Then you have double-stranded DNA, which is present in the case of humans and other different types of species. They can have the B-DNA, the A-DNA, and the Z-DNA. Both the B and the A-DNA are right-handed coiled DNA molecule. ये जो B-DNA है और जो A-DNA है, ये कैसे coiled होते हैं? These are right-handed coiled DNA molecule. Whereas the Z-DNA that you are going to find here is going to be the left-handedly coiled. Left-handed coiled DNA molecule. So this is going to be the left-handedly coiled DNA molecule. Now, how these DNA molecule can be differentiated from each other? In DNA molecules को हम किस तरीके से differentiate कर सकते हैं? That we have to see. You can look at the structural features of the DNA molecules that are present here. The DNA molecule, A-DNA molecule, has a greater diameter as compared to the B-DNA molecule. A-DNA molecule का जो diameter है वो कितना हो सकता है? It could be equal to 25 angstrom, whereas the B-DNA has a diameter equivalent to 20 angstrom, and Z-DNA has a diameter equivalent to 18 angstrom. इसके अंदर यहाँ पर जो diameter होता है वो 18 angstrom है. That means it is the thinnest of all the DNA molecules which is present. ये सबसे thin होता है Z-DNA, and A-DNA is the thickest of all the DNA molecules present, whereas A-DNA molecule is the thickest molecule of all the DNA. The pitch of the DNA helix, which refers to number of base pair per helix of DNA. When you talk about the helix of a DNA molecule, this is the helix of a DNA molecule, and you're going to talk about the pitch. Then what is pitch? The number of base pairs per helix. When this helix is going to reach to this particular position, the number of base pair per helix. Is referred to as the pitch of the helix. This is commonly referred to as pitch. इसी को हम pitch कहते हैं क्योंकि ये number of base pair है per helix है. So that is why it is commonly referred to as the pitch of the DNA helix. Okay. Then glycosidic bond formation can be anti, or it could be anti and syn glycosidic bond formation. So these are the two different types of glycosidic bonds that could be produced in the structure of the DNA molecule. Next, moving forward, now we would be looking at the triple stranded structure of DNA. That how is the triple stranded structure of DNA? See, these structures, whatever you are seeing about the A form, B form, or the Z form of DNA, firstly, all the three forms of DNA are present in our cells, they are present in our body and in our genome at different sites. Okay, for example, the Z DNA is usually present at the telomeric sequences. The B DNA is usually present in the euchromatin region. The A DNA is present in the heterochromatin region. Okay, this is present usually in the case of heterochromatin region. In the case of euchromatin region, euchromatin. So I'm writing EC for euchromatin. Okay. This should be heterochromatin. So all these DNA exist simultaneously in our cells. The structure of A, B, or C DNA do not alter their chemical or coding information. It is just the form or the conformation of the DNA. Supposingly you are sitting, now you stand up, your height is going to be changed. Your height is a constant phenomena, dear. Whether you are sitting or whether you are standing, if you are of 5 feet, you will remain of 5 feet. Okay, so the phenomena or the chemical nature of the DNA remains the same, whatever its conformation can be. These conformation just mediates tightly packing of the DNA or the loosely packing of the DNA molecule. Okay, they are influenced to change their condition from one form to another under certain situations. For example, if in the case of BDNA, there is alternate purine and pyrimidine, there are repeats of AT. Supposingly, there is an adenine, there is thymine, then there is thymine, there is adenine, there is adenine, there is thymine, there is thymine, there is adenine. What do you find this DNA is going to do? This DNA has a purine pyrimidine, pyrimidine purine, purine pyrimidine, pyrimidine purine bases arranged in an alternate manner. So over the DNA, purine and pyrimidine are arranged in a alternate manner. So such type of DNA will form the Z DNA molecule. Okay, and such type of DNA will have a crisscross structure. It will have a crisscross structure, something like this. This would be the structure of this DNA molecule. It would be like this: 5 prime, and then moving here 3 prime, 5 prime, and then 3 prime. It depends upon the orientations. What is the nitrogenous basis present? What are the conditions present? How the proteins are binding? So that is why the conformation of the DNA molecule change. But this is highly dynamic structure. Any conformation can change into another conformation just on the basis of changes in pH, changes in the humidity, changes in the salt concentration within the cell. There, the forms of the DNA can change from one to another. Another type of DNA which has been found to be associated with the eukaryotic cell is the triple-stranded DNA molecule. This is the triple-stranded DNA molecule, which is also referred to as Hoogsteen base pair DNA molecule. Such type of DNA molecule exhibit Hoogsteen base pairing among themselves. This triple-stranded DNA molecule which is present here, you can find, is the one that has intramolecular triple-stranded DNA structure. Intramolecular. It can also has intermolecular triple-stranded DNA structure, whereas one strand of one DNA is going to base pair with another strand of another DNA. This would be another DNA molecule. And this is how this is base pairing. This is referred to as intermolecular triple-stranded. This is referred to as intramolecular triple-stranded. Intramolecular triple-stranded. Intramolecular triple-stranded DNA. Triple-stranded DNA. Intramolecular triple-stranded DNA is present to be associated with our telomeric DNA. This DNA is found in the case of telomere. ये कहां पर पाया जाता है? टीलोमियर में पाया जाता है. This type of DNA can also exist where there is a close similarity in between the two DNA molecules so as to form an intermolecular triple-stranded DNA. This is intermolecular triple-stranded. Molecular triple-stranded DNA. Intermolecular triple-stranded DNA. Triple-stranded DNA. Because such type of DNA is intermolecular. Instead of intramolecular, they are intermolecular. Okay, in between the molecules. So these are the two different types of triple-stranded DNA associated with our cells. There are two different types of base pairing that could be found in the case of parallel and anti-parallel triple-stranded structure of DNA. The parallel triple-stranded structure of DNA, if the hydrogen bonding with the strand has the same orientation. For example, this strand has 5' to 3' end, and the strand to which it is binding is also having a 5' to 3' orientation, then this is referred to as parallel triple-stranded structure of DNA. This is how the parallel triple-stranded structure of DNA is being produced. Then there could be anti-parallel triple-stranded structure of DNA. In the case of parallel triple-stranded structure, there is Hoogsteen base pairing. Parallel triple-stranded structure. Parallel triple-stranded structure. Triple-stranded structure. What do you get in the case of parallel triple-stranded structure? You get in the case of parallel triple-stranded structure Hoogsteen base pair. Hoogsteen base pairing. What do you get in the case of anti-parallel beta-plated sheet structure? In the case of anti-parallel beta-plated sheet structure, in the case of anti-parallel triple-stranded structure, triple-stranded structure you get is anti-parallel Hoogsteen base pairing. Here you get anti-parallel Hoogsteen base pairing. Anti-parallel Hoogsteen base pairing. This is how the orientation of these two DNA molecules is different. The triple-stranded DNA is said to be much more stable as compared to the double-stranded DNA. Okay, so that is why in the case of telomere, I have told you the triple-stranded DNA is being produced. What happens in the case of telomere is that one strand of the DNA is being extended and then it is being folded in this manner, leading to the formation of triple-stranded, as well as the quadriplex DNA molecule. So this is in order to protect the DNA ends, it is being folded in a particular orientation. So that is why here there is a triple stranded DNA. So this triple stranded DNA stabilizes telomere, stabilizes the telomere. So this is all about the telomeric. So this is all about the triple stranded form of the DNA molecule, which could be parallel, anti-parallel, exhibit Hoogsteen or anti-parallel Hoogsteen base pairing. Moving forward to the next conformation of the DNA structure, the quaternary structure of DNA. Now we will be looking at another type of DNA structure, which is commonly referred to as the quadriplex DNA structure. The quadriplex DNA structure consists of 4 DNA molecules leading to the formation of a G quadriplex. It can be made up of intramolecular within a single molecule, or it could be made up of intermolecular quadriplex DNA structure. Intermolecular quadriplex DNA structure is made up of more than one molecule organizing themselves in the form of a G quadrat. Okay. So what do you mean by quadriplex structure? The nucleic acid sequences which are rich in guanine are capable of forming 4 stranded structure called as G quadriplex. कोई भी डीएनए का मॉलिक्यूल जिसके अंदर बहुत ज्यादा गुआनिन न्यूक्लियोटाइड हैं, वो एक क्वाड्रिप्लेक्स स्ट्रक्चर को बना सकता है. इस क्वाड्रिप्लेक्स स्ट्रक्चर की वजह से ही हमारा डीएनए और ज्यादा स्टेबल हो जाता है. बिकॉज ऑफ द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ दिस टेट्राड of the G guanine residue, the guanine quadrat in the form of a tetrad, there is the stabilization of the Hoogsteen hydrogen bonding. Stabilization of Hoogsteen hydrogen bonding takes place. Stability of the G quadriplex is caused due to monovalent cation dependency. The stability of the G quadriplex is caused by the presence of a monovalent cation that is referred to as the potassium ion, which is present at the center of the tetrad. At the center of the tetrad, there is a potassium ion which is present. And this potassium ion which is present at the center of the tetrad will be stabilizing the structure of the tetrad. Tetrad के structure को stabilize करने के लिए यहाँ पर center में एक potassium ion होता है, center में एक metal ion होता है, that stabilizes the formation of the tetrad structure. You can find that this is a single stranded DNA structure with large number of guanine residue present over itself. As it has large number of guanine residue present over itself, these guanine residue can bind to each other and their electrostatic repulsion could be minimized with the presence of a monovalent cation such as the potassium ion present at its center. जब सेंटर में पोटेशियम आयन जैसा मोनोवेलेंट कैटायन आ जाएगा तो ये यहां पर नेगेटिव चार्जेस के बीच के इंटरेक्शन को मिनिमाइज कर देगा, so that the G quadriplex can be produced effectively. Next, the telomeric quadriplex DNA molecule. How the telomeric quadriplex DNA molecule is going to be produced? What is this telomeric quadriplex DNA? The telomeric quadriplex DNA, as you can find, is a quadriplex DNA present at the telomeric end of the DNA molecule. हमारे DNA के किनारे पे, हमारे DNA के ends के ऊपर, जिसे आप टीलोमियर कहते हैं, वहां पर telomeric quadriplex DNA बन जाता है. Now we will have to understand how the quadriplex structure of the DNA makes the telomeric ends of the DNA. You know that the chromosomes in the case of humans have a telomeric ends. This is a telomere The end of the chromosome is commonly referred to as the telomere. Now, the DNA is highly susceptible at the telomere for the action of restriction endonuclease, which can cleave the DNA molecule from the telomere. So what has to be done? The DNA at the telomere has to be protected from the restriction endonucleases. So this is being protected by the formation of G quadriplex. DNA जो telomere पे होता है उसका प्रोटेक्शन होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. The DNA at the telomere must be effectively protected, and this protection is being mediated by the G quadriplex. The G quadriplex can be made up of either DNA, it can be made up of either RNA, or can be even made up of a combination of a DNA and RNA molecule. Telomeric G quadriplex performs the following functions. It protects the telomerase from the action of nucleases. It is the one that would be protecting the telomerase from the action of nucleases, because when the telomeric DNA is going to form the G quadriplex, then the nuclease that is referred to as the exonucleases will not be able to cleave this DNA. It will not be able to cleave this DNA. The ends of the shirt that is referred to as collar is being folded and then stitched in order to prevent the loss of cloth from the ends of your t-shirts or your shirts. आपकी शर्ट के किनारे के जो कफ होते हैं उनको फोल्ड कर दिया जाता है और स्टिच कर दिया जाता है दर्जी के द्वारा, ताकि वहां से कोई लूज फाइबर्स ना निकले. वैसे ही टीलोमियर के एंड वाला क्रोमोसोम का डीएनए, इट इज बीइंग फोल्डेड and then sealed with the formation of G quadriplex, so that there is no influence of exonucleases over the ends of the DNA molecule. The next important phenomena, the organization of the ciliated telomere. The organization of the ciliated telomere, the binding of the telomere to the nuclear scaffolds is being mediated by the presence of this G quadriplex. G quadriplex की वजह से ही न्यूक्लियर स्कैफोल्ड प्रोटीन्स बाइंड कर पाती हैं टीलोमियर के साथ में, so that the effective binding to the telomere can take place and the packing of the chromosome in the form and the packing of the chromatin in the form of a chromosome can take place during cell cycle. So the condensation of chromosomes is being mediated by nuclear scaffolds by binding to the G quadriplex. Similarly, binding of ligands to telomeric G quadriplex can also take place. There is the binding of ligands to the telomeric quadriplex that is going to take place, and the ligands will be binded to the telomeric quadriplex region. तो ये जो telomeric ends हैं, इनके साथ में ये bind किसके साथ पकड़ जाते हैं? They are going to bind to the ligand molecules. Certain ligands, certain metal ions can bind to the quadriplex structure. You can find here that how the quadriplex structure of the DNA is being made. If you can focus here, you will find there is a single strand of the DNA that is moving and wrapping and then again moving and moving back to form a circuit-like structure, something like this, moving forward, then moving back, then back, and then moving in this particular direction to form the structure of one G quadriplex. There is guanine, 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 and another guanine present. So this is commonly referred to as the G quadriplex. ये जो स्ट्रक्चर बन गया है जहां पर चारों गुआनिन आ चुके हैं, that is referred to as the guanine G quadriplex structure. Okay. Further, you can find that in this quadriplex, there are regions which is referred to as the T loop. So there you can find there is a T loop which is present. And this is the loop that is going to be present here. What is the conformation of the DNA? Triple stranded. Triple stranded. यहां पर जो डीएनए है वो कैसा है? वो है ट्रिपल स्ट्रैंडेड. यहां पर जो डीएनए है वो कैसा है? क्वाड्रीप्लेक्स. यहां पर this DNA can bind with another RNA quadriplex molecule so as to further stabilizes it out. So actually, in the case of telomeric quadriplex, the telomeric quadriplex is made up of both DNA and RNA in close association with regard to each other so as to stabilize the structure of the telomeric molecule. टीलोमियर के अंदर डीएनए और आरएनए दोनों ही क्वाड्रिप्लेक्स स्ट्रक्चर बनाते हैं और दोनों आपस में एसोसिएटेड होकर रखते हैं सो दैट द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द टीलोमियर कैन बी स्टेबलाइज्ड. प्लीज लिसन हियर. नाउ मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, then you look at the quadriplex structure of DNA. Another function, another very important function of the quadriplex structure. Where is the quadriplex structure of DNA found? Sir, can you give me some examples? Yes, I could. In the case of tumor cells, when angiogenesis has to take place. Sir. This angiogenesis refers to the phenomena of formation of blood vesicle towards a mass of cancer cell. The class. Now, the cancer cells secretes certain proteins, those binds to the reticuloendothelial lining of the blood vesicle. This is the blood vesicle, and the blood vesicle began to move towards the mass of cancer cell. This phenomena is commonly referred to as angiogenesis. This is the phenomena of the angiogenesis that is going to take place. This is how angiogenesis takes place. And once the angiogenesis takes place, the cancer cell will move into the blood vesicle, and from the blood vesicle they will move from one side to the other. Then the cancer cell start moving from one side to the एक साइड से दूसरी साइड पर मूव कर लेते. Now, on the basis of the constitution, the G quadriplex can be of two different types. Intramolecular G quadriplex, when there is a single molecule and that is forming the G quadriplex, then such type of structure is called as intramolecular G quadriplex. It is formed by the folding of the dsDNA over itself. When the double-stranded DNA is going to fold over itself, then the structure is referred to as intramolecular G quadriplex. This structure is found in the G promoter for vascular endothelial growth factor. You can find here that this is the vascular endothelial growth factor which is responsible for the phenomena of angiogenesis in the case of cancer cell. Cancer cell में ये vascular endothelial growth factors ही होते हैं जो angiogenesis को कराते हैं. They are the one that catalyzes the process of angiogenesis to take place. Then the next is intermolecular G quadriplex. In the case of intermolecular G quadriplex structure, this intermolecular G quadriplex structure is the one that is going to form when the different types of molecules are going to be associated, because it is referred to as intermolecular. Intermolecular means there are two or more than two different types of molecules that are going to be associated. So that is referred to as intermolecular. जब अलग-अलग molecules मिलके एक G quadriplex को बना देते हैं तो वो है intermolecular G quadriplex. You have seen in the case of telomeric DNA of human. In fact, the DNA and RNA was combining to make the human telomeric G quadriplex. So this is a intermolecular G quadriplex. On the basis of direction of strands that forms the tetrameric structure or the tetrad structure, the quadriplex DNA can be parallel G quadriplex, they can be anti-parallel G quadriplex, or they can be hybrid G quadriplex structure. Now, what happens in the case of parallel G quadriplex? In the case of parallel G quadriplex, the strand of the DNA that is forming the quadriplex structure is always parallelly oriented with regard to each other. The direction of the phosphodiester linkage in the DNA backbone constituting the structure of the molecules is always present in parallel direction to each other. The direction of the phosphodiester linkage is always parallel. The direction of the phosphodiester linkage of the DNA molecule forming the G quartet is always anti-parallel. It is called as anti-parallel G quadriplex. And the direction of phosphodiester linkage can be parallel, can be anti-parallel. On one strand it is parallel, on another strand it is anti-parallel. Then it is called as hybrid G quadriplex. Before taking your queries, let me move to the presentation in order to show you the different types of the quadriplex structure of. In the structure of quadriplex DNA, you can find that there are two different types of quadriplex. One is intramolecular quadriplex, another one is intermolecular quadriplex. In the case of intramolecular quadriplex, there is a single DNA molecule. You can find this would be the 3', this would be the 5'. This is the 5' strand of the DNA, and this is the 3' strand of the DNA. Okay, so here you find that this is a single stranded DNA which has been wrapped over itself. ये एक ही stranded DNA का, दो double stranded DNA नहीं है. This is intramolecular. That means there is a single stranded DNA that has been wrapped in parallel direction with regard to each other. This is parallel because this strand is also parallel to this strand. You'll find 5' here, 5' to 3'. 3' to 5'. The direction of phosphodiester backbone forming the G quadrat is same. That is why it is parallel. See, the orientation of the backbone forming the G quadriplex is completely opposite direction to each other. That is why it is referred to as anti-parallel. On one strand it is parallel, on another it is anti-parallel. This is parallel and here it would be anti-parallel. So this is referred to as hybrid intramolecular G quadriplex. Similarly, intermolecular G quadriplex are formed by different types of DNA molecules. जब अलग-अलग DNA के molecules आपस में मिल जाते हैं तो वो बना देते हैं intermolecular G quadriplex. In the case of intermolecular G quadriplex, it could be parallel DNA molecule, it could be anti-parallel, or it could be hybrid G quadriplex structure of DNA. Now, in the case of G quadriplex structure of DNA molecule, the guanine glycosidic angles is an anti-conformation. An anti-parallel quadriplex structure has both syn and anti-conformation. Firstly, I must tell you what is syn conformation. When the nitrogenous base is present over the sugar, then it assumes a syn conformation. This is syn conformation. When the nitrogenous base is in opposite direction to the sugar molecule, this is anti-conformation. So when you find parallel G quadriplex, there is only an anti-conformation. Anti-conformation is the best conformation because it has less steric hindrance. Less steric hindrance. Okay. Whereas The sin has more steric hindrance. It has more steric hindrance. So this is all about the quadriplex structure of the DNA. Now, the next type of nucleic acid that we are going to talk about is the xenonucleic acid. What do you mean by xenonucleic acid? Xenonucleic acid is the latest form of artificially developed nucleic acid in the lab. It is not present in any living form on Earth. It is artificially manufactured in the laboratory. The nitrogenous bases are artificially synthesized and are made up of sugar residues. They are made up of sugar nitrogenous bases. They are not nitrogenous basically. These are made up of sugar residues. And these are made up of sugar residues in order to stabilize their structure. Okay. These are used in the case of RDT for the biosynthesis of the artificial life form and in RDT to prevent gene slippage from the lab in the wild varieties. Because XNA is not found in the wild varieties. So the genes encoded by the XNA, the proteins encoded by the XNA cannot be transferred into the wild varieties. So it finds application in experimental use in order to make recombinant organisms with 100% safety concerns that the recombinant gene will not be transferred into the wild variety of organisms. Such type of artificially designed nucleic acid is commonly called as xenonucleic acid. With this, we have finished with all the different forms of DNA which are present in the cell. After this, we would be moving to the molecular biology, and in tomorrow's lecture, we would be starting with the C value and the C value paradox. So that's all for today. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture. Meet you tomorrow at the same time.